Hello, my dear Aquarius. This is your love and spirituality reading for the time between April the 1st and April 15, 2017, with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I use the Legacy of the Divine Tarot by Ciro Marchetti, and I will start shuffling your cards. I call the Divine with love and light, and I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and I call the 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Aquarius. So I want my dear Aquarius viewers to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So I also want to take the chance to tell you that April 1st, Mercury will reach its eastern greatest elongation, 8 of Swords, that's Gemini, and Jupiter. Mercury will reach its eastern greatest elongation of 19 degrees from the Sun. It is the best time to view Mercury, and it will be on its highest point over the horizon. Look for the planet low in the western sky just after sunset. April 7, the giant planet Jupiter will be at opposition and will be fully illuminated by the Sun. It will be at its closest approach to Earth and will be brighter than any other time of the year. Also, we will have the full moon April 11. Okay, so I will just tune in for a few seconds. So, my dear Aquarius, this is your future. This is your now, and this is the past. The now is probably the first half of April 2017, but whenever you watch this is probably the exact right time for you to see it. So, the first card here is 2 of Swords. When I shuffled the cards, also the 8 of Swords came. Both those cards came for Virgo as well. We had also the 2 of Swords for Leo. Maybe it was okay. Both those cards came for Leo, I think, and one of those came for Virgo. So what I wanted to say with this is that it's probably astrological events in the sky that's giving you certain kind of things to work with right now. And here it seems to be diplomacy. The 2 of Swords is a person trying to keep a straight face and trying to keep following the rules of society and conversations. Don't want to get into conflict. Don't want to say something they will later regret. So it's like rather being silent or treating people with a silent treatment than telling what you really know or feel or think about the situation. So we see this person is having a mask, also a veil before their eyes and before the heart chakra as well. That's significant, and it's a sign of Libra here. So wanting to keep things in balance, not wanting to have conflicts, not wanting to go into war. And here is the emotions that's not being looked upon currently, even though they are straight before this person's face. So it's like trying to act in a way that's not natural for you, to avoid something else that you don't want, something that you probably fear. So we'll move on a little bit here with this. The next card is 10 of Swords, which I also had for both Leo and Virgo. This is the signs I have been doing so far, so it might come from more. 10 of Swords is when you need to let those old thoughts or old patterns in your life go. You are keeping silent for the sake of diplomacy, for the sake of not having troubles. So you fear this. You fear it's almost death. It's the end of relationship, thoughts, forms, things that's important to you. But they are ending because change is needed. So it's not so much that this 10 of Swords actually threats about change. It's more about this fear that you have of change, the fear you have of losing something that's valuable to you. But it's like this, if something is truly yours, if it's really for you, you can't really lose it. If you have a dear friend, they will understand you, even if you tell them how things really works for you, how you really feel, how you really want. If there's a great society, it can tolerate when people are talking their truth. Of course, you should be having diplomacy. You shouldn't go and tell people things that's just your opinion, and you want to smother them with your thoughts about their looks or their behavior, and you all want to criticize people. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what's true for you, what's really emotionally deep truth for you. It can be your conviction about things, how you of moral behavior, how you want to be treated, also your deepest rooted feeling for someone or for certain situations. It can be things like self-respect, like telling people what you really want and need. So it's more like those things, not so much about going around being a fool. It's about being brave enough to be able to tell your truth, what's really going on within you. Sometimes you don't want to because you don't want to be on the losing end. You don't want to tell a person that's obviously not in love with you that you are in love with them. So that might be a situation where you are keeping your mouth shut because you don't want to be feeling in this way, like humiliated or defeated, or like, okay, so you finally find out that they say to your face, no, I don't love you back, I'm sorry. So this is 10 swords penetrating to your old backbone. You had a hope, you hope for something. So sometimes we don't want to know the truth. But my belief is that the truth is always better than staying in an illusion, wasting time on something that's never going to be fulfilled. So it's better to have an open communication. If I'm thinking still about relationship, if you are in a relationship and you wanted to have a committed relationship, but the other one seems to not want this, then you need to talk about this very straightforward and take the consequences. Often we want to stay in love even though there's no foundation for this love. Maybe it would be better if you left this love relationship and said, okay, so we have different goals with this. I want a committed love relationship and you don't. So I'm going to leave you, and I hope you find this what you are searching for, and I'm going to search for this what I want. And then you leave this person, and if this person is truly for you, they are going to find out in a couple of weeks or months that, okay, so I also want to commit a love relationship. I just said those things because I was scared, and I'm scared of commitment or whatever would be the issue, and they will get in contact with you again. So, and if you are still available, that's fine. Then you can move on with a relationship. So it's about being open and not being so hurt and so, trying to control each and everybody. You can't control them. You can't control what other people think of you, what your coworkers think of you, or really anything. You can't control so much in this world, but you can become truthful. And when the truth shall set you free, someone said that, and that's really also the truth, I think. If you tell people purely and honestly what you want and what you need, that's much more, I think that would much more lead to a great outcome for you, because then all the cards is on the table and everyone knows what they have to do or not to do, and what to relate to. So truth is important here. And it's a little bit in the past. So for some of you watching in March, that this might be happening now, and for you watching in April, it might be in the past. So here we have the Knight of Swords, that Gemini again. Gemini is this situation where you try to make the best decision for having the best outcome. So you try to be a little bit smart here. You maybe don't want to tell people exactly what you feel because you think that they will use this against you. Or you might think the worst. You jump into a conclusion about what people think. So the truth is much more harmonious than you believe in your head. So Knight of Swords is knights. So there are this energy of being a little bit like galloping on the same place here. We can see this tornado in the distance and the birds of prey. So there's action here. He has wings coming out of his ears also. So this is a person not wanting to stay in place, not wanting to stay in a relationship if they are going to get hurt. They are already on their way out. They are not going to be there. They are not going even to stay and tell the other person that this is what I want. No, they are going to figure out what the other person wants and leave before the other person even has the chance to tell their truth. So jumping into conclusions sometimes. Also, the Knight of Swords are this injection with new things, new thoughts. So it's like imperialistic governments coming into another country with weapons and destroying things, but also coming with new things, new inventions, new stuff that might be like just what was planned for the long run. Okay, so sometimes something that's bad also have something good with it. It's what I'm trying to say. That this energy is very hasty and restless, and it does things that's not so calculated, like on a more high spiritual level. It's more rushes into things and doesn't really think all the consequences. They think about the consequences for themselves. So that's and Gemini is also, this energy is also sometimes very cruel against themselves and pecking on themselves because of choices that they made or choices that they failed to make. So it's a lot going on here. It's typical a teenager driving too fast with their car, but also having this very speedy reaction and being skilled with a bow and with the sword and such things. So it's this energy. So it's very it's much swords here with you. So you might be included with some person that you are fearful of their reactions maybe, or you are trying to keep your own overreaction leveled, because we have Libra here. So someone is trying to keep people together, even though this energy is more what I feel the most for most of you. This will be like you are thinking the worst about the situation, and you are not really able to find out the truth because you don't want to communicate, because you don't want to be on the losing end of that communication. So it's much about the ego. Ego is something that you need for some things, but this kind of ego is not needed. You are much stronger without it. So let it go. Let this part of the ego go. You can tell persons, like millions of persons, that you love them and that you want to be with them, and it's not going to steal any energy from you at all. It's just you being truthful to your soul and your true expression. You don't have to bend your head towards that person anyway. You don't have to do what they are saying or fill up their demands or anything. You can still be authentically you. You have nothing to lose with being truthful. Sometimes we might want to be a little bit tactic, because we know that people are usually having problems with attachment. They don't want to be too close to other people. They feel suffocated. So sometimes we want to keep this a secret, so we don't scare people off. So that's another way. So it's something going on that's a little bit like that. So here we have the World card, and it's about a lot of experience. You have experienced this before, and you have a lot of tools to use in this situation. So try to use one that you have used before and that had a good outcome, or try to use a new one if you have seen that the old tools that you have been using in this situation wasn't really successful, because this is like like a lost test before you get your graduation. So it's something going on here with your thoughts, where you are very scared about the future, so you're trying to hold on to something and you don't really have your true expression. The world is a very truthful expression. And here you have the wheel as well. This is definitely going on an astrological level, because it's the wheel and it's all the star signs here. So it's something going on maybe with all the star signs. I think I had the world for the two previous signs as well, and the wheel definitely came. And we have Jupiter here. So it's something going on. It's your old things, all the old patterns that you have had in your life is going to come up now, not as a punishment or a threat or anything. It's just for you to see it, magnify it, like with Jupiter. You see it clearly, your patterns was repeating in your life. So you can take a different decision this time. It's a really good chance for you to burn old karma. Karma can be translated as sin, but it's not that kind of sin that we believe is sinful. It's about having lied to yourself, or try to be someone that you're not. That's usually karma. That's usually what's built karma, when we are not being in our true selves. So it's rather easy to solve karma, because the only thing you have to do is to try to find out who you are and act accordingly to your truth. So sometimes this can be difficult because you have the Gemini here, so you don't really know which creature you should listen to, and that's the hard part of the game. So you have maybe one side that says, okay, go and tell her how you feel, and the other parts tell you, don't ever tell her how you feel, because then she will run away from you. So how to know which side to listen on? Well, you don't know. This is the trick. This is why things are repeating again and again, until you can do this in your sleep. So you know what to do, what's going to have the best outcome. And usually it's something that you haven't been able to do before. It's like a test. It's like where you have your biggest fear here, what you fear the most. This is probably the thing that you need to do, the thing that is a little bit hard for you, that's a little bit unusual, something you haven't really tried, or you know you should have tried it, but you haven't because it was too difficult, or you fell into the old pattern again. So try thinking new here, like in the bright new ways of Gemini, being this one that invents new things and new problem solutions and all these new inventions. This is very divine powers, so they are not something you can control. You ought to put yourself in the center of it. Try to not think in terms of control. Think in terms of letting go of control and accepting what's happening. Here you have the Temperance card, number 14. It's where you learn. It's where you get all this experience due to the different contrasts to other people in our lives. When we act good and we get bad things thrown in our face, that's a beautiful contrast. You see this clearly now, that this is something you don't like. So you can choose something else. It's just this. It's not there to punish you. It's not there to torment you. Those things that happens that you don't like, they are there to enlighten you, to get yourself to know what you want in your life and what you don't want. So we are creators here, and to know what we want to create, we need to know what we like. So seeing things we don't like is a very beautiful way of knowing what we do like. And you can start communicating this. This is usually happening in relationships. It's when we meet people from other cultures or from across the street, that neighborhood boy or girl, and we have so different way of communicating and acting and everything. So we really need to get to know ourselves first, so we can communicate this to the other, and it's like rubbing off on each other until we are as close as this. And this is when we have experienced their world, their culture, their way of communicating. They have experienced our world, our way of being and communicating, our culture. So and then you are like twice as much experienced as you were before. And this is is a beautiful way of getting to know yourself, getting more experience, and also getting to know what you like and being able to communicate this in this relationship. Being able to tell the other person, no, this I didn't like, I don't want it like this. And the other person, of course, wants it on the total opposite way of you, how you want it. And this is where you start to compromise and you find out a beautiful way that's a win-win situation for both of you. And here is Two of Swords above this. So it's like you know exactly what you want and feel, but you don't tell it because you don't want to have conflicts. But conflicts are fertile. This is when you get out the things that's difference between you, so you can find out where to build this platform that should be the foundation of your relationship. So don't keep quiet. As I said, sometimes tactical reason you want to keep quiet because you don't want to do something that you know is going to end badly, or you want to keep your self-control, maybe to be able to do this new invention that you're a Gemini, find out for you this new path that you haven't tried before in this situation. So sometimes we need self-control and to keep things a little bit hidden for a while, at least until we have figured it out for ourselves. But usually this is not a very good strategy. The next card is the Lovers, and it comes underneath the Ten of Swords. So I think you have compromised yourself a great deal to be in a love relationship. And this is good if you are doing this with together with other person. But if you are compromising yourself, trying to behave in a way you believe that the other person wants you to be, while you haven't really asked them, that's the wrong way to go. So you have both the Temperance card and the Lovers. That's the first and the second card for love in the Major Arcana. So it shows that you are really on this way, mirroring yourself into another person. We have the Snake here, talking about evolution, talking about meeting your fears and growing as a person. This is probably the thing that you fear the most with this relationship. Maybe losing it, maybe losing yourself, losing your self-sufficientness, or losing the other person to someone new. Whatever you fear here is what are kind of preventing you from telling the truth. But if you start telling the truth, you will be able to communicate with this other person, and you can find out a way together. You shouldn't go alone with this, suppressing your own wants and needs and everything. You should solve this together with the other person. In other case, you kind of separate yourself from the other person, and you will never find this closeness that you get from communication. So, some people can be very hard to communicate with, and some people are more easy. We have both the Knight of Swords here and a Knight of Cups. So both those knights are idealistic. They think that their way is the only way, and both are searching for the Holy Grail. So it's a beautiful way to start a journey with this anticipation and positive outlook on the future. Gemini sometimes don't have the most positive because they see so many angles of everything. So they have this vivid mind that's seeing all the danger before it comes, and sometimes don't even care about this because they are reckless. The Knight of Swords is sometimes very reckless also with driving, flying. So even then they are smart and brighter. Sometimes due to youthful expression, doing things that's dangerous. But it's this new ignition. You need to get to know this energy. I'm not judging anything here. I'm just trying to tell you what this energy is about. It's about taking care of your feelings, finding your deep-rooted needs and feelings and how you want to express them in a way that you think are suitable for your relationship. Knight of Cups is about searching for love, searching for connection, wanting this connection. So it's like a part of you is very disconnected and try to figure this out on your own, and the other part is very connected and wants to figure this out in the relationship. So if you can unify those two viewpoints inside of you, you might really be onto something. Here we have the High Priestess, So the high priestess is a person totally immersed in water. So she knows her feelings, even the deep water, scary feelings with crocodiles and sharks. She knows them. She's not afraid of them. She takes them as communication, as information. It's her how she used her intuition and her instincts. That's worked very beautifully. She also have this halo, so her soul has gone down in her body. That's not such a problematic process. It might sound really problematic, but it isn't. It's just your warmth that you have in your hand and your feet, your life force. The more you are authentically you, the more it will calm down in your body. And if you exercise this, feel your soul, your warmth in your hand and feet and all your abdomen, when you are in a relationship, that is going to help the relationship. If you can be as grounded as possible, for example, when you have a conflict with someone, that will cool the conflict down. That will make the other person feel like you are there for real, like you are there like an authentic person. She has the Taurus symbol in her forehead. So this is about knowledge from the past, knowledge from a time when life were more about the really living and fertile and not so much about mind, but very much about the soul and the body as a temple. We see this, she is in a temple as well. And she has the knowledge here, the Akasha Chronicles and the wisdom owl and the moon. We can see that this has connections with, we had the apple here, it's a pomegranate, but due to some legends, we had a pomegranate as the fruit that made the two people in paradise evolve above the animal level, where they were mindless creatures going around in a paradisic kind of environment where they can just eat things off the trees. And now when we got our mind and we start to think that we need houses, we need to store food, we got this mind, so we needed also to start working. So this have separated us from both our true needs and wants as persons usually, because other animals rest for like 14 hours a day, while human beings doesn't rarely rest at all. So we have separated ourselves and become like machines almost. And now we are on the next state of our evolution. We are going to grow even further, and no one really knows where we are going to. It's really up to you where this evolution will take us. But it's definitely an evolution, and it's an evolution in relationships where you start to align and decide that your deepest feeling and your deepest instinct are really going to take you to the right place. So you're starting to become in your own self-respect. You don't think that your emotions are a problem anymore. They are an asset. They make you know twice as much or 10 times as much as you knew before, because with your awakened mind, you can use like 10 or 20% of your total intelligence. But when you use the moon here, this is a person trying to be very rational. But when you use the moon, you will be so much more. You will not be like a person hiding behind this mask. You will be the high priestess, a divine spirit on earth. Okay, so that's a bit different. That's a bit having a little bit more knowledge than just being rational. So it's a big step for you to take, but it seems like it's worth it to start learning the language of your feelings and your intuition and your instincts. Here you have an Ace of Wands. So this is you working together with the divine, because this wheel is totally out of your control. But if you put yourself in the center and decide that you are the soul, there's a technique that calls soul body fusion. It's very simple. You can buy the book, but it's also just about taking in your soul in your body. And this is what we see here. This is your soul's ignition, your life spark, your passion, what you want, where you want to steer your life. It's like having a magnifying glass and taking the sun's rays to one point. So this is you being very centered towards who you are and letting control of everything you can't control. You can't control other people. You can only go in the direction that you yourself want, and to center yourself and try to find balance within your emotions. If you think that emotions are dangerous, you can learn to be friends with them, but by letting, for example, big feelings like anger come in your life, and then let them be and spread, and so you know how anger feels. You get to know this feeling of anger, and then you bring in the light and relaxation. And then you take, when you have found this relaxation, you invite the next feeling like sorrow. You let it spread towards your body. And after you have done so, you bring in the light. So you can do this, and you learn to get the information without throwing yourself on end. Without being on the outside of this wheel, being thrown around by the feelings like this. So you can learn to get the information by staying really centered. Okay, so here comes the feeling of anger. Now I know I'm angry. So what am I angry at? What do I need to see? And then you can bring in the light and stay in the center. So you don't have to be thrown around if this is what you are mostly afraid of, being controlled by your feelings. You can learn this technique. It's a little bit dangerous because I want you to not be blocking your feelings. It's very crucial that you get the information, not just try to take it away by like exercises of relaxation and meditation. Being with the feelings for me is like mindfulness. She is very mindful. She is here and now. She is feeling everything. And meditation is more like getting yourself into relaxation, a state of relaxation where you can breathe and your muscles can relax and you can rest. So it's like work and pleasure. Here you have a King of Coins. It also came for Leo and Virgo. So this is about your own authority, creating a paradise for yourself where you always can rest, where you take care of yourself. And you are the king in this paradise. You are the authority. So you decide what's making you feel comfortable in your paradise and what's throwing you out of balance. And those inhabitants in your kingdom that kind of throws you out of balance, you can tell them the rules, how they need to behave to be in your kingdom. This is how I want to be treated, and this is not how I want to be treated. So become your own authority. Decide which person you want to be with and which you don't want to be with. Sometimes you don't want to be with certain people during certain situations. So you can tell them, okay, as long as you're going to behave like this, we are not going to see so much of each other. Let me know when you have changed your mind or you feel otherwise towards me in another way, so we can reconnect. I'm not angry with you. I'm just choosing to not be with you when this is the case. Don't use this as a flight maneuver. Okay, so don't do this towards people that want your love and things like this. Do this towards people that hurt you in ways, stealing your energy or acting towards you like they don't care about you. Because we should really care about each other. Sometimes people are asking too much and we can't really stay there and care for each and every one that needs our attention. But you need to be very mindful of that so you don't use this as a deflection maneuver and fuel your old survival skills. It's about caretaking. You take care of your family. You take care of your friends. You take care of yourself. You give the same kind of love. It's green for unconditional love. You give the same kind of love to everyone. And the persons that not giving you this love back to you, they are simply not welcome in your kingdom. They can search for other people which they can act towards, maybe that like their way of being, but you don't. So it's your kingdom. It's just what I'm trying to say. You decide how your paradise look like, no one else's. The next card here is the Hermit. So I think I got exact this position for my dear Virgos. Oh, and it's Virgo here also. So this is about getting to know yourself. So you know what you like and you dislike. The Hermit is a little bit like the teenager here with the Knights. It's a person separating from society and going to their own cave, much like a teenager moving away from home, from their family, to their own apartment that sometimes is looking like a cave. And this is where you can find out what of the old society do you like, and that you can actually stand for. Okay, this is what your parents taught you, what your teachers taught you, what society has to bring to you. What do you like about it? So that you can accept. You can say, okay, so I liked, my parents were very much so and so. There were good qualities. I like those qualities. I want to be like that. A society is like this and this. That's not really for me. I'm for this other thing, and I'm going to. This is what I'm going to align with. So you decide who you are in separation to other people, becoming your own true individualistic self. So this is a very good way to getting to know what you like and dislike. So it's just a phase. You're not going to stay in the hermit stage forever. It's just about finding out what kind of kingdom you want to create. The next card here is two of coins. So it comes between these two knights. So I guess there's a little bit up and down with you. Sometimes you are very up in the air with your thoughts and maybe jumping into conclusions. And sometimes you are very romantic and think that all the persons around you are so swell. So it can be two different personality types within you. It's usually also mirrored within your relationships, that sometimes your partner is like aggressive towards you, or think that you are an evil person while you are not, and sometimes they are very forgiving and accepting everything you are doing. So you have this probably on the inside of you, on the outside of you. You might see it on a worldly view as well. So this is Jupiter in Capricorn. Capricorn is very hardworking, wants to be a good trooper, wants to be included in society, wants to do what's right. But the news flash here is that you decide what's right, no one else, okay? Not God, not anything in the universe, not people. You are the pioneer, you are the creator in your own life. So you decide what's right, you decide the rules, and this is what Jupiter wants to show you this time, to really put a light on your willpower. We can see this here also with the wheel and Ace of Wands, that it's all about what you want here now. So throw away all things that you have learned, and it's like if you have a house and you decide that there's need to be a little declutterification here. So you put all your stuff out in the yard, like a garage sale almost, and you just take in the things in the house that you really like, that you love, those things that's precious to you and you feel like you can't live them without them. The rest things, you sell them on the garage sale. So this is like what you are going to do here. You are going to decide what's you and what's not you, what's making you happy, what's not making you happy, what's getting you into balance and what's throwing you out of balance, because currently you have no steering wheel, because you are so full of all those rules about how to behave and how to act and how to not make people angry with me and how to rule my kingdom, and you have forgotten about yourself. So it's like the wheel here again. It's a repetition, a situation that repeats, and you have no way of steering here. So you don't have control with the wheels. You seldom have control. It's like exercise is being thrown at you. And the only thing you can do is to show how good you will manage those exercises with your true soul self. Okay. So it's not so, you can't really control those situations and decide the outcome. You can just be yourself, and that will probably lead to a very good outcome. So, okay, from now on, you decide the rules. And here you have the Ace of Cups. So to find out what you want, you need to go through your emotions, even though they may be like a roller coaster here with the Two of Coins. To be this person, emerged in water. It's like having your emotional body like so. Here is your soul, and you have the emotional body that has like an umbilical cord back to the divine. You can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into your body and just go like further and further into other dimensions and find connections here with other entities in your own soul, and it's going like so. So it's a Merkaba, it's a magnetic field around you that is about to be restored or are restored here very beautifully. And this is when you have your soul intact, your emotional body intact, a whole communication system. So it's like you have been put on a foreign planet somewhere, and the communication was broken, so you were lost. You didn't know how to come home or how to communicate with someone. But then things come to you, divine come to you, ground control was trying to contact you through your emotion, and you were just scared of this because it was something that felt fearful, some voice talking from out of nowhere through your emotions, the frequencies. This is another kind of communication. It's not dangerous. It just wants to communicate with you. So you got startled and you tried to run and hide and everything, and you have tried this for a long time. But now it's time to, okay, reconnect, get back with ground control. We have been through some dark ages that was making it a bit impossible for us. We were left here because there was nothing else to do. But now we are reconnecting, building our true self again, our true Merkaba, so we can know what we want and what we like and become in our own authority. We don't have to have authorities above ourselves so much more. We need to become in our own authority. The next card is Eight of Cups. So that's when you leave those situations behind that has been very valuable to you, but you need to face yourself now. It doesn't mean separation. It means like this temporary separation from things that's kind of disturbs you when you are going to find out who you are. It's like if you are a person that have two people interested in you romantically, it might be a good idea to go to a cabin in the mountains for a couple of weeks and try to find out, okay, so what to do about this situation. So it's much more like this than, oh, I'm going to leave everyone behind. I'm going to leave my work and my family and everyone and just scoop away. It's more, it's not so much leaving other people, like finding yourself, okay, finding your inner voice, finding this connection. When I see this picture, I'm thinking about the lotus flower with has roots. This is an octopus, but for me it looks a little bit like tree roots going deep down here in the swampy waters, in the soil. And then the beautiful flower that aims towards the sun. So this is you, both these deep rooted aspects. So you need to go deep into yourself to find yourself, to be able to express yourself. It's in the roots you find your nourishment, okay? And your way forward. So your way forward, see a little bit if you can get some advice from the wisdom of the hidden realms here for my dear Aquarius. So we have 3 cards. First we have the Diamond Dreamer. So this is where you need to have a vision. Like the architect, you need to see a vision of the house before you can build it. So decide what kind of house you want, see the vision, put the seed to the ground, let the divine do its work with the sun and the rain and the soil. So this what you want can grow into your life. Think miracles, think big. Queen of Light is what I told you before, like be aware of the things here, even though you don't want to act upon them because you might want to keep something a secret or something is going on here where you are holding back. At least see the truth. This is a beautiful enlightenment process when you start to see what really is there, the truth of your situation, the truth, even if it's like you see big contrasts between you and others, how unlike each other you are. So, okay, now you know. So now you can do something about this. You can decide what to do. If you know the truth, you can also see where to go from here. So it's very good to enlighten things, to talk truthfully, communicate in a truthful way. Illumination, enlightenment, celebration. It's about you becoming aware of who you are and therefore becoming enlightened. So we see here it's the High Priestess. It's much like her here, and she's surrounded by the World card. That's 21, the last card of Major Arcana. A lot of burning of karma and just, you know, starting anew. An Ace of Wands, an Ace of Cups, and a Knight of Cups. So it seems like you will find your way through your emotion, also your very romantic emotions. And here's the Camel Boy. So acknowledge that you are a beginner in this and take small steps. Ask for help. You can pray for help. Say, okay, so I don't know how to do this. Can you help me? I want to solve this situation. I want to find myself. We can see that there's a little faint light of the moon back here. And this little person has their camel. So the camel is your own self-sufficientness, being able to go through the desert here without people for a little while because you need to find yourself. So it might be a little bit small separation in relationship where you need to just be for yourself for a little while to find out more about the next stage of your journey. So also past life oracle card to check a little bit what's so scary with the Ten of Swords. Love seems to be very scary. Love and knighthood. Okay, so talking about love can be very scary. Tell the truth about what you really feel and the visions that you have about this future. It might feel like an utopia, so you don't dare to whisper it even because you are so afraid of getting disappointed. But here it's about bravery and chivalry and expressing your true emotions, being brave enough to follow love. There's a beautiful poem, it's a beautiful book wrote by Khalil Gibran, that's a prophet and about love. And it says that when love comes, follow, even though the sword that is hidden underneath its wing, this is from the Swedish translation, can hurt you because love isn't just for your happiness, it's also for your growth. So it's supposed to be a little bit dangerous. It's supposed to be like this quest for the Holy Grail, and it's supposed to not be easy because you're going to get a lot of experience from it that will make you even more the person that you are. And life is about getting experiences and what we can take with us when we die and go from here to another dimension where we kind of are our soul. It's love and experiences. We don't take with us money or things like this, not our worldly goods or our ego. It doesn't come with us. So it's a little bit like die before you die. Let go of the security net here, so you can experience this, what you were supposed to come here to experience. So, okay, my dear Aquarius, thank you for watching this far, and thank you for all of you subscribing, liking and commenting to my videos. I want you to take really good care, and I hope to see you again in the middle of April. Okay, bye-bye.